Welcome to the World Team League. I don't even know. I think this is week 7. So hello and welcome as we kick this off and we get this ready to roll. Some fun action today. Team NV against Dragon Phoenix Gaming. I mean, you're talking two teams who are top of the league. Well, at least they should be top of the league. Team NV are actually 5-1. Dragon Phoenix Gaming 3-3 this season. They're not actually having that good a time. In fact, they're having a complete and utter freaking nightmare. I feel like the sounds are very loud today. So, they're kind of having a bit of a nightmare. As last week they actually ended up losing to the Afrika Freaks, who, you know, last season that wouldn't have been so bad, but the Afrika Freaks, well, they were actually, you know, like 1-3 this season. They've won the last 2 now against Liquid and DPG, so the Afrika Freaks aren't even in playoff position, and DPG lost to them last week, and this entire league has just been thrown up in the air this season. It's really a little bit crazy. So today our starting match, Team NV against Dragon Phoenix Gaming, Dark against Bunny, Maru against Hero, and Dongregu against Zest, all coming up. So that's going to be what happens. That's how this goes. Yeah, just, sorry, double checking that a couple things are right and set up properly, guys. Sorry again, I just had some real life stuff and I didn't quite make it exactly on time. Is this the proper quality as well? That is 1080, okay. Well, in that case, we should just be able to get this going and start talking about some StarCraft 2 then, guys. So, Bunny Dark, obviously I think Dark an absolute beast, but Bunny does play some good StarCraft lately, and well, I wouldn't say I favor him against Dark to take a map. You know, if he loses map 1, he gets to pick map 2. First map is Curious Minds. I actually really don't mind this at all for Bunny. I actually think this is a very good matchup and a very good... I actually think the set of matches today in general are very good for NV. Because you don't have to play like the 50-50 coin flip with like Maru versus Dark or something. You do just have Bunny who maybe takes a map of Dark. Then you've got Maru who can fight Hero. And then you've got a Dongregu against Zest or so, right? So I think that's actually a really cool combination, and I actually really like that for Team NV. I don't like it so much for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, and if they went to a losing record in this league, well, that would be something worth talking about, because that would be absolutely crazy. As a Marine pushes that Overlord away through the top side, and just getting that out of there for the moment as well, as we otherwise set up and continue to get established here early game in this TvZ. Again, best of 7. These two players will play the first 2 maps against each other as well, so keep that in mind. And yeah, that's basically where we are at here to start the day. Sorry again, I know it's a little bit kind of just I've thrown this stream on and just we didn't even get the intro stuff today, so yeah, apologies for that once more. As we just wait to see what happens. It's going to be Banshees. I think you got to play Banshees against someone like Dark who plays Roaches so frequently anyways. And then on a map like this, I mean, that just really exemplifies the reason to play Banshees because it's so short. So playing Banshees is pretty much a must-go, or like a must-do-so here, I think, from Bunny. I completely agree with that. I don't think there's anyone that would disagree because trying to fight against Dark anywhere is scary, and playing Dark on a map that is small, even scarier, even less likely that you're going to have a good time if you're trying to cut corners, etc. So yeah, just going to see the Hellions with the Banshee coming up in the near future. And otherwise, just waiting to see where we're going to go. A few drones mining away, a few Hellions poking in from the side. And yeah, just continuing to move around, looking for some opportunities, looking for some excitement here. And there's 1-1 melee upgrades have started up as well, so that's going to be coming through here too. Our Hellions starting to attach themselves onto a few queens on the right side. Loses 1. I mean, altogether here, I kind of like what Dog's doing. Dog's just like, I'm going to play straight to Ling Bane. You think I'm going to play Roaches? I'm going to play straight to Ling Bane, later let super early upgrades. So Dog's going to have a melee upgrade lead. That in itself is going to be pretty potent, right? That's going to be pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, it really feels like Dog is bringing just a different kind of style to play right now. I mean, dare I say, because maybe he didn't want Bunny to start hard countering or so. I mean, it kind of feels a little bit like that, perhaps. 2 Banshees together coming through, chasing down these Queens, and the first Queen already taking a good chunk of damage, so a little bit of damage being done there. But otherwise, Dark is not really taking much damage overall, right? And he's moving around. Obviously, it is difficult to deal with these Banshees when you don't have the lair, and that is the one benefit that Bunny will have. That you will just find positions where there is no detection, and where these queens cannot fight back. And I don't agree with these queens still being here. Oh, but they knew that the energy was going to run out. Okay, it was actually pretty smart. So initially I was like, well, the queens stood fighting cloaked banshees and just taking damage, but he knew the energy was going to be out soon. So by waiting, he actually gave himself the right opportunity to actually get damage done, but the banshees still slipped away. It is 5 drones killed. The Hellions are still dancing. They've been going down slowly but surely as they skirmish with Zerglings. And that has kind of been, that's kind of just where we've been at now for a little while in this. As a bit of damage gets done. Still like it for Bunny. I think you've got both the Banshees alive, and you are behind on upgrades, but you can see the supply is good. The worker count is very good for Bunny as well, so there's definitely positives for it here. Do not get me wrong. Just don't mind how Dark is setting up either, as Marines and a couple of Medivacs are now making their way along to the right-hand side, and these Lingers start running in. Whoa, Bunny, how much trouble are we in here? Full surround? That's against 1-1, and I think that's what Bunny didn't quite realize right away. The Hellions showing up to help now as well, but in this chaos, he's got the Banshees taking damage too. Everything got a little bit chaotic there for a few moments as the Lings will run in to chase down a few of these SCVs. 3 of them going down. I mean, this is going to be a cleanup. I think if Bunny maybe... I don't know if he recognized how quick the 1-1 was from Dark, because I feel like if he knows it's 1-1 already, you don't just stand and fight there, right? You lift up, you go elsewhere, you reposition. I don't think you stick around like you stuck around and fight for so long, because there's nothing to gain from fighting for so long, right? You don't gain anything by just being there and taking that damage. So I think that's probably what happened in Bunny's kind of mind, or Bunny's setup there, just thinking he could take that fight. Didn't realize the upgrade advantage was in Dark's favor, and so lost out just a little bit, as we are going to be seeing our Overlord on the left side being picked off. And now these Fiends trying to make their way forward again. Trying to get set up. Going to lift up here and move through a little bit. Not a lot of units, though, from Bunny, but overall, the supply is still good. But look at the 2-2 from Dark. Over halfway done, not started from Bunny. I mean, that's terrifying to have a Zerg on such a good upgrade lead. That is genuinely really scary, and that's why I'm really worried for Bunny here, because, I mean, there's a point at which you just can't trade against that. There's going to be so much Ling Bane that's just trading so much better than what you can trade. It just is not going to be pretty in the slightest, so that's why I'm absolutely worried at the moment as we continue through this early game. I say early game, obviously kind of more mid-game now as we get a little bit of action. A couple of Banes being split away from... It always feels like Bunny just isn't moving around with very much, right? Like, it always feels like he just doesn't have a lot. Gonna siege this tank up over here, and, well, a Queen gonna take some damage. Marines just sit there. This drop's starting to go down as well. 2-2 against 1-1. Lings will always win that fight effectively, so... Yeah, I just don't like Bunny still kind of being over here either. I don't think that's going to end up going well for him at all, so... Yeah, a little bit rough as our Medivacs load up, and we do have the Overlord getting a drop Lord going, so that should be a good bit of fun as well. Intrigued to see how that ends up. Actually gets spotted by the Medivac, so that's pretty amazing. Bunny finding that out straight away. Like I say, on all game long, I feel like the economy's not been bad for Bunny. I just feel like the unit count has never really been where it needs to be. You know, that's the biggest issue of all, I would say, is that the unit count is just seriously been missing at times. There's a little Ling Bane force splitting up a little bit. Medivac's coming through the center. Tank's going to fire, and bio units going to start splitting back. Bane's taking a decent couple of shots, but again, just 2-2 against 1-1. And Dark, he's going to definitely do okay in this fight. Now, there's a few Marines on the bottom side that have survived, and there's only really Lings left over. Okay, there's a few Banes top that are chasing down SCVs, and the reinforcements might have to deal with those as well. There's a bunch of Widow Mines here that didn't die as well. They are now blown up by those Banelings, and now you can see that Bunny has just lost way too much. And I really think a big portion of this has just got to be looked at as, hey, you did not really keep going with your upgrades when you needed to keep going with your upgrades, Bunny. There were multiple points where... Well, I mean, we've been talking about upgrades all game long, and obviously Dark went for fast upgrades anyway, but then Bunny's upgrades were late, and I think that part is inexcusable when you're playing against a Zerg that goes faster upgrades. To not start your 2-2 instantly, it was very bad from Bunny, and I think that's just something that, like I say, is inexcusable. You can't let that slide, because otherwise you end up in a position like this where you just really cannot fight back, and you really just don't have the numbers. Bio units coming over the right side, going to find a couple overseers. As Bunny's alive, down 30-ish supply, but look at the map. All up the right side, dark, 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 creep spread out to the center, good amount of creep in front of each of his bases, and that just makes it so difficult for Bunny to ever get anywhere meaningful, while Dark hits Adrenal Glands, Vipers are on the map. All of the stuff you need to keep this game going in your favor continues to come through here at the moment from Dark, and just going to be seeing the feelings dropping into the main mineral line now. They are going to start dealing some damage as well. And being continuing through, and just going to be seeing a couple of Widow Mines being stuffed by just a couple Lings. Bunny is getting back up there in supply, to be fair. Like, his supply is rising, so credit to Bunny is doing something right, but can he survive the swarm again? This time it's even upgrades at least, even if there are Adrenal Glands. This is the fight that should go better for Bunny, because all these units kind of went in single file, and the Bio Army was able to fight it. So Dark picking a bad fight this time. Didn't go as well for him here, and all of a sudden Dark in a little bit more trouble. My goodness, okay, well, Dark all of a sudden is definitely feeling some pain. As you're going to see the Bio Army pulling back a little bit. The Ling Bane still coming through. Widow Mine's going to start firing. Just going to see a few of these Zerglings being picked away at. I'm just going to see our Bioforce continuing through. A couple more Lings going down once again. And an Ultralisk Cavern in the back of the base there as well. And it's going to be seeing our Bio units continuing through, trying to run away. The Widow Mine's firing again. A few more Zerglings going down. Baneling's in some trouble. And that's how this game is continuing forward, as I do have kind of an exciting back and forth still. I honestly really thought Bunny was in quite a lot of trouble, and it's kind of weird. I feel like Bunny's army was never great in this game, yet he always managed to somehow get a little bit more back up. Right now, his army trying to fall back again. It is 3-3 against 2-2 now. That's going to be the new problem, right? Is we're back to that upgrade lead for the Zerg. And that's something which, again, you're not usually having to actually play against. So that's part of this, which I think is going to be a little bit rough and a little bit tough. But maybe there's a way to figure this out and to get around this still for Bunny. No, there is not. Just too much Dark. Upgrades, I think, the story of this game. You upgrade like that as Dark, you just don't stop, then, well, there's always going to be trouble on the other side, and there absolutely was in this situation. GG, I basically had to restart it again. You should kind of fix it, at least. Falcon Tokaji, thank you for the 19-month resub. Sipship1 for the 22 months. And Ghostface321 for the 1-year resub on the Prime. Thank you for the resubs, guys. Much appreciated. And, yeah, we are getting this started up. Bunny picking the map. He's in the top left. Our blue Terran player from Team NV. Bottom right, our Dragon Phoenix Gaming Zerg is going to be Dark. And a big matchup in the World Team League. Just because of the fact that these teams are usually meant to be in the grand finals against each other, but this season it's going to be much tougher for DPG. They've already had a rougher start. They've had some upsets against them, and they're absolutely going to have to start figuring out a road to recovery here a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, their season is already in the trash a little bit. I mean, they are like a match loss away from being outside of playoff contention as of right now, which is kind of ridiculous considering the way that things have been going. So, yeah, kind of intrigued to see where we do end up and how everything continues on as we get this ready to roll. It's just going to be seeing an Hatch Gas and Pool here. Obviously, again, Bunny's map pick. We'll see if there's anything in particular Bunny really fancies about this map. Or if he is just kind of... I mean, it's not really a crazy map to pick, I don't think. Obviously, on the new map pool. Terrans do seem to like it. I think it's got some good push positions. It's got some good siege locations as well. I think in general, you can put yourself just into good positions here on Berlingrad. It's not impossible for Zerg to play. Zerg can go up left and right sides expanding. I think there's definitely a bit of a reach out to a 5th base, which is maybe one of the discussion points, right? So it's not as easy to expand left and right, but there are options to do that. It's not impossible, right? So I think that's worth looking at already as the factory comes down there from Bunny. I'm just going to see a couple of queens and a few Zerglings already on the way as well. So yeah, we get ourselves set up and ready to rumble. Just going to see the factory's about halfway done. The reactor's coming in on the barracks. And the Reaper from Bunny heading down to the bottom right-hand corner is just going to start dancing with these first couple of Zerglings as we get set up. as you get this ready to roll. I think Doc said on his interview that he didn't like Berlingrad. Yeah, I think some Zergs don't like it. I think there are just a lot of rocks, a lot of like it is quite big, but it does feel sort of choky, I suppose, at the same time. It's got like a bit of a weird mix to it in my eyes. I do kind of agree. I honestly, like, I feel like I'm very slow picking up which players like which maps on this map pool. But I think that's because like it's actually just not as straightforward as usual. I think this is a more complex map pool because a lot of maps do have benefits here, but then negatives on another side, and you know, that kind of setup. And I think that's just a very prominent feature of this map pool, which is very cool, right? Because it means that, you know, different players and different playstyles can lead to different vetoes. I actually think for that reason alone, this is the most promising map pool we've had for a while. I do know that Bunny said the new maps are just very anti-Terran, so maybe he just feels like this is the best of a bad bunch. I do think that's true. They're definitely not as good for Terran as the previous map pool, but yeah, whether they're anti-Terran, I don't think that's necessarily a fully fair statement. How are you all doing in the chat, everybody? How's everyone feeling? Did everyone enjoy DreamHack last week? Hopefully you guys had a good time with DreamHack. As we've got some World Team League and next coming up the next few days. We're meant to have WardiTV European League, but honestly, I still need to contact the players and figure that one out a little bit as well. So I gotta try and figure that out a bit, you know. So I'll be figuring that out, as we do have Hellions at the moment coming around and getting rid of quite a few of these drones. That's 3 workers going down, and now these Hellions still being chased and picked away at. Stimpack on the way up. A few Hellions coming in. I mean, these Hellions didn't really do much. I'm just going to Banshees again, as I think Bunny really is trying to play into what Doc likes to habitually play, which is, well, Hellion, you know, roaches. So Banshees and Hellions generally a good way to open, but right now, Doc is not putting down a Roach Roaring once again, and it's just very unlike Doc. You know, it's very unlike Doc not to have a Roach Roaring in DVT by 4 minutes or so. Very interesting. Wardy, will you be doing the other 4 matches of World Team League tomorrow and the next day? I don't know, mate. I've got some personal life stuff going on at the moment, so kind of just taking it day by day. I would hope that I can, but I really just have to see how, you know, kind of how things are going on, basically. So I'm not putting any promises on anything being broadcast this next week or so. And just in general, my schedule might have to change a lot, so we'll see what that entails. But right now, I just need to figure some stuff out. So the hope is, yes, I hopefully can be here. I think tomorrow's ESL Open Cup in the evening, though, for Europe was a replacement one, so I'm kind of thinking, it kind of depends. And I think on the 18th, I maybe have something as well. On the 18th, I think I have a media day for a tournament. Yeah, I have the media day for a tournament on the 18th, so I need to figure that out a little bit as well. Which is kind of sad, because that day of games is pretty fun. But yeah, it's just the way it is. So yeah, I probably can't be here on Thursday. Maybe I need to check what time it is. Maybe I can be here for like an hour or so and do the first match, but then not the second match. That might be the situation. But obviously I am hoping to do as much as possible, as always. Don't understand why DPG didn't play Dark, Rogue, or Zest against Maru. Well, they are playing Dark and they are playing Zest. They don't. It's not like they see who is play. You know, who plays where. Because how is that fair? You know. If one team can just say, oh, you're playing Maru, we play this guy against Maru, then how does that work? Because why can't the other team just say, we play Maru against this guy? I mean, the question mark is maybe not playing Rogue in the, you know, Rogue in the second match to try and guarantee Dog sets all Rogue, right? But I think at the end of the day, that DPG are a team that do like to switch their players around a little bit, and maybe Rogue doesn't want to play today, maybe he's coming off the season finals, I don't know, right? Like, there's maybe a rotation they stick by. For whatever reason, they decided not to rock Rogue today. But they did still put out Dark and Zest, so... Yeah, you don't know, maybe Rogue couldn't play today, maybe, I mean, like I say, it's basically Rogue, right? Like, yeah, you could say Kira as well, but I think Maris TvT is pretty good anyway, so yeah, maybe they just felt more confident. Maybe Rogue didn't feel confident being able to take down Mara or something. I don't know. You know, like, just assumptions. As it's determined, yeah, basically you just say, hey, here's my player 1, my player 2, and player 3, and they match up against the other team's player 1, 2, and 3. Marines on the right side going to get this 5th hatchery, so Bunny is doing pretty well at kind of taking down this hatch and picking away at that. Widowmine is going to unburrow, and we continue forward with these Marines, taking down a lava or two. I think denying the 5th base is pretty neat, but of course you've got to keep on going with everything else. We are playing Hydras this time as Dark, so seen a little bit of tech brought into his game here as well. This is going to get rid of a couple more Crypt Tumors, and a couple of Banelings coming through. One of them connects on a few Marines. And now just seeing the Infestation Pit coming through to the back end of this as well. It's just getting that up and ready to continue here in this second map as Bunny tries to get one on the board for Team NV already. One center flying over the left-hand side. A few Marines into the center, going to get rid of a few more Crypt Tumors as well. So just picking away at that a little bit as our Banshee finds some of these Hydras. The Banes do connect, and Bunny just not pulling away in time for a second there. And Dark just on his way back up to a 5th hatchery as well. So it's all well and good denying it once, but can you keep it denied? Can you keep it down? Bunny playing just a very drop-heavy style, trying to be everywhere on the map, but Dark is showing so far that he's pretty freaking good at he's pretty freaking good so far, just keeping this going. Marines coming through, Ling's taking some damage, couple Queens coming around, and just going to be seeing the few Marines making their way out to this right-hand side. Ling's going to start running in at this. This one tank is just in a little bit of trouble already, so has to evacuate. Now you don't have your splash damage down. I mean, this is full-on evacuation mode from Bunny, so he just falls back, and if he's going to win this, he's going to have to play it in a very long game. Ivor's coming online. We could maybe start thinking about Lurkers here. I think Vipers are going to be the initial priority. But let's see exactly what happens. As do you have this medevac still just poised out down to the south as well. There's a lot of Lings in the center here. There's the Lurker Den we kind of mentioned as well. So again, the Lurker Den start, like I say, I mean, Ivor's already done, so we could start Adrenal Glands, for example. That would be neat. I mean, Adrenal Glands. Obviously, beyond Adrenal Glands, also just the idea of, what was I talking about before? Literally Vipers, that's what I'm trying to think of. Sorry, guys. Brain's a little bit slow on the uptake. Did a whole day with no StarCraft yesterday, and my brain's like, Bane's just gonna load up and get moving in that drop load. So I like that. I do think that's something that can definitely add a lot of pressure. It's hard to keep track of. It's actually just going to be Lings in the drop load that are going this way, and they're going to fly past these medevacs. At least Bunny, if he's paying attention there, kind of gets a bit of vision on it. It's almost ridiculous that that's how he gets to see this happening. So that's kind of amusing, really. And a couple of drones having gone down already. Just going to be seeing 3-3 still coming through, the Ghost still on the way up, and a couple of siege tanks as well. All of this continuing out. I'm just going to be seeing our Marines continue to pull back a little bit, and just going to see our dropper load going to come in on this left-hand side. So this is going to be the Banelings. The next one is going to be the Zerglings. That's coming through the top side as we speak. For the moment, Bunny is holding back and doing a good job of this. Oh, that's a decent shutdown as well. Only 2 Lings getting off. 1 Ghost can actually fight that. So, yeah, those Lings are dead. Okay, good defense. Good defense from Bunny, keeping this game up and rolling for himself at the moment here. Keeping this underway. That's going to be seeing our Vipers kind of lurking overhead, and I mean, we're all getting into a lot of tech. Pathogen Glands, Adrenal. We're going to see the Nidus network as we try to find other ways to harass here as Dark. Of course, Bunny did work his way up into a good tank count and a good ghost count, and I feel like that's the combination you need right now, so he's well prepared for the initial Lurker transition. At the moment, he tries to push back a lot of this crew spread. It does feel like this first game definitely has the potential to go pretty long here. And two overseers coming through the top side. Our bio army up the top with these medevacs as well. Things take down the rocks. Just going to see our command centers are going to drop in also. Just getting set up around that right-hand side as the Overlord getting shoved away a little bit. Bio units are there to, again, chase the Lingbane back just slightly. And there's the Niders coming through. Tank shots and the Marines are good to defend it, though. Really, the defense so far from Bunny has been impeccable. He has made sure to not take any losses. He's been making sure to really trade well. Cannot complain about how Bunny is playing this game. Now, the one issue is that Dark is getting a lot of money in the bank. That's something to keep your eye on because it means that Dark has tons of rebuild potential. That means that after every fight, Bunny is basically going to have to buy some time to rebuild himself, because Dark's rebuild is going to be pretty instantaneous. At least on Lings. I guess his gas count is missing, but he also just morphed in 40 new Banelings, so that definitely has a factor to play as well. This Bunny always amazes me when they're kind of all over the map and they still find those couple changelings. Just notice that they're often playing that moment or so to actually do something about it. This time the Knight is a little bit out of position for the tanks, which obviously means it's in a good position for itself. With the Ghost here, I think he just knows it's not going to be enough, but maybe the distractions, the attacks on the left side, Dark coming through. I mean, these couple of orbitals in the front definitely going to go down. Planetary gets busted by the Banelings. Oh, Dark lost so much, though. This is very expensive for him, losing so many units. And now the SCVs are powering up that orbital. These tanks just sitting behind the bases as well. And all these SCVs just getting repairing, bringing that orbital up to full HP here as another Spore Crawler comes down. Our Hydras and our Overseers making their way back around into the center. We do see the nuke on the way up on the Ghost Academy as well. Neo Steel Plane also coming through with +3 vehicle weapons. There we go. Ling Bang going to start running forward. Our Hydra's coming through as well. Tanks are firing. A lot of those Lings taking a lot of damage. Good EMP on the Vipers, but they did get Blinding Clouds off. Dark again losing a lot of supply to make this fight happen. But the Ghosts in the front, a lot of them are going down. But now the Bane's still rolling in single file. They turn around as well, which means a few more will go down. Yeah, you get a cancel or so, but so many more just dropping. I mean, it feels like Dark is really throwing units away. I mean, a little bit more than usual even. So I would love to see that be fixed up, because continuing to play like this is surely not sustainable. At least you wouldn't imagine it is. Just going to drop a nuke down to the bottom left-hand corner. So just going to put that on this base and just try and start working our way through that slowly but surely. Dark is taking bases that are meant to be bunnies, and that's one of my concerns now, is that Dark just has so much map control that maybe this inefficiency will not matter simply for that factor. You can see that this Biofloor is going to get overrun by Ling Bane right now. Ling's running through, the Bane's coming through, the Viper's in the sky. And these units all coming forward. The Planetary Forest taking a lot of damage. Looks like it's going to get busted down in a moment or so. Another Blinding Cloud going down. His Bunny really, he just can't hold on because he's losing this economy on the left side. And that's actually just too much of a deal for Bunny. It's just too much of a game changer. And as Bunny ends up down, hurting a lot. And now you see a couple snipers coming through. Changelings going down as well. GG from Bunny. And Dark is taking the first two maps of the day. So Dragon Phoenix Gaming do get off to a good start. He just had too many bases. He had too much of the map.